Three friends, one party, 45 straight seconds of silence in the middle of a conversation that felt like 4 minutes. Me, Maya, and Derek all had the same problem that night. We could start a conversation fine. Hey, how's it going? Good, you? Good. And then nothing. The silence would stretch out. Someone would glance at their phone. The conversation would quietly die somewhere around the 10-second mark every single time. I used to think some people were just born interesting, naturally good at this in a way the rest of us weren't. Turns out that's not true. Talking to people is a skill, not a fixed personality trait, and none of the three of us had ever actually sat down and learned it. Method 1. Active listening. Most people, mid-conversation, aren't actually listening to the other person at all. They're waiting for their turn to talk, already half rehearsing what they're going to say next while the other person is still mid-sentence. I caught myself doing this constantly. The second I noticed it, I started deliberately dropping whatever response I'd already planned and actually focusing on the last specific thing the person said. The conversations immediately got longer and easier because I was responding to what they'd actually said instead of whatever I decided to say 3 sentences earlier. Maya found the second one, the Ford method. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams, 4 topic categories that work on almost anyone whenever a conversation stalls out and goes quiet. Ask about someone's family. Ask about their work. Ask what they do for fun on the weekends. Ask what they're working toward long-term. You will genuinely never run out of things to ask. Maya started mentally running through that list the second the silence hit instead of panicking, and the fear of not knowing what to say next mostly disappeared. Derek's method was the one none of us expected to matter as much as it actually did. Following the thread instead of jumping topics. Most conversations quietly die because as soon as someone finishes a sentence, the other person changes the subject entirely instead of asking anything about what was just said. Derek started doing the opposite on purpose. Whatever the last interesting detail was, he'd ask one more specific question about exactly that before letting the conversation move anywhere else. Someone mentions they just got back from a trip. Instead of saying, cool, I went somewhere once too, you ask what the best part of the trip actually was. It sounds like a small adjustment. It changes almost everything. Method 4 is open-ended questions, and it's the fastest fix out of all 5. Any question that can be answered with a single word, yes, no, fine, good, hands the other person an easy exit from the conversation, and most people will take that exit without even meaning to. Swapping "did you have a good weekend" for "what did you end up doing this weekend" forces an actual answer, an actual story. I started catching myself right before asking a closed question and rephrasing it out loud on the spot. Within a couple of weeks, it had become almost automatic. The 5th one is matching energy. Not copying someone exactly, just noticing whether they're talking fast and animated or slow and quiet, and meeting them somewhere close to that same pace. Maya and Derek both got noticeably better at this with one simple trick. Pausing half a second before responding, just long enough to actually register how the other person was showing up in that moment. None of these 5 methods required either of them, or me, to become a completely different person. If anything, all 3 of us just got quieter in the specific moments that actually mattered. Actually listening instead of waiting for our turn to talk. Actually following what someone said instead of steering the conversation straight back to ourselves. You don't need to fix all 5 tonight. Pick the one that sounds most like your specific problem, the one that made you wince a little just now. Try it in the very next real conversation you have. Most people can't consciously tell you're using a method at all. They just walk away afterward thinking you are unusually easy to talk to.